Now we're moving on to the next set of problems. We have number 15, where I asked you what's the volume of a cube with side length 2 feet. And so let me try drawing a cube here. You have this, and I give you one side. Let's say here I give you 2. All you need to do is to take this 2, so it's 2 times another 2 here, times another 2. So all you're doing essentially, we have length times width times height. 2 cubed is all you would do to give me the volume. And so 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8. And so centimeter cubed or feet cubed, whatever you were asked. The unit for volume, most times you would see a cube next to it, and this explains it. Whenever you're given the problem, just check for the units and keep that in mind. So that's number 15. It's pretty basic. We have 2 times 2 times 2. Now, 16 deals with an interesting thing. It's the question of the subject of the formula. But we can't talk about the subject of the formula without talking about the laws of indices. The laws of indices are very important. The principles that show us how to handle exponents and so on and so forth. So before I address number 16, let me just state a few principles that are important. One of the laws tells us that whenever we see something, so for example, the square root of y is the same thing as y to the power half. That's another way of writing the square root of y. So if I said the cube root of y, you would write y 1 over 3. Now, the other principle you need to remember is that whenever a number x to the power 2 is by itself, and I was to put a 3 outside, this is essentially x 2 times 3, which is x to the 6th power. These are some principles that would help you in solving this question. So now that I've shown you that, I'm going to clean this off, and then I'm going to show you how to solve this problem, what ways to handle it. They've given you the cube root of 4f is equal to 8x. What you need to realize is that to get rid of that cube root, you would need to cube the left side. But if you cube the left side, you have to cube the right side. And this is what happens. 4f is also the same thing as 4f to the power 1/3. If that's the case, so I've rewritten it in a different way. 4f to the power 1/3. But then I'm trying to get rid of the cube root. So what I do is I multiply that, I cube that. But if I cube the left side, I have to cube the right side. And so this 3 can cancel that 3. So on the left side, all I have is 4f. On the right side, however, now we know that 8 was just by itself to the first power, and x was by itself to the first power. Now all we have left, we'll see, is 8 cubed x cubed. And so 4f is equal to 8 cubed x cubed, which is, I've written that, but I'm going to take this now and break it into 3 parts. So 8 times 8 times 8. 8 times 8 is 64. And so let me just show you something here. 64 times 8. If you don't know your multiplication, 8 times 4 is 32. So you write a 2. You carry 3 up to the left there. 8 times 6 is 48. And so 48 plus 3 is 51. And so now we have 512 as our answer for 8 times 8 times 8. Now we can take that, and it's now here. So 4f is equal to 512x cubed. You divide both sides by 4, and all you get now is f is equal to 4 goes into 51. How many times? We can actually start with the first number. 4 goes into 5 once, and we have a 1 left. 4 goes into 11 twice, we have a 3 left, and 4 goes into 32 8 times x cubed. So f is 128x cubed, and the reason for that again is because you see you needed to divide both sides by 4 so that f was by itself. The first step to solving these problems is find out what you want to be alone by the end of the problem, and try and use the principles of mathematics to solve that. Let's quickly look at number 17. It addresses some of the laws of indices, and I think this will be helpful to you. The 4th root of y to the 8th divided by y to the 12th. The first thing you need to remember is that the laws of indices tell us that whenever something is divided by something else and they have the same base, you can subtract the exponent of one from the other. So the 4th root of y to the 8th minus 12. That's what you do, because you can bring this 12 up to the top and take it away from the exponent of the one that was on top. And so now you simply have the fourth root of y to the negative fourth. Another law of indices tells us that whenever we have something to the power negative or to a negative power, we can rewrite that thing as 1 over that thing to the positive power. What do I mean by that? If I gave you x to the power negative 2, you can rewrite that as 1 over x squared. That's another way of rewriting it. So we're going to rewrite our y to the negative fourth power. It's going to become the fourth root of y over 1 to the fourth power. So the fourth root of 1 over y to the fourth. What happens is we can rewrite this square root based on what I just taught you about rewriting things here. We can rewrite this as 1 over y to the fourth and then to the 1/4. So if we did 1 over y to the fourth times the 1/4 outside, you can rewrite this, and I'm going to complete the problem right here. You can rewrite this as 1 to the 1/4 over y 1 over 4 times. So 1 second. So you've rewritten it. Okay, so y to the fourth power times 1 to the fourth. So, or 1 over 4. So we have 1 here, so the fourth root of 1, which is 1. 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 is 1, and 1 is an easy number to handle there. And then on the bottom, the 4's cancel, and all you have left is y. Let me take a second to re-explain what I did to the problem there, so that you don't get confused. We had 1 over y, and it was 1, the y had a 4 there. And this was the fourth root of that. So let's focus on this for a second. This is the same thing as 1 over y to the fourth, and then 1 over 4 outside it. Which means that we can multiply the exponents inside by that exponent outside. And that what happens there is we get 1 to the 1 over 4 divided by y to the fourth power times 1 over 4. So this 1 essentially has a 1 as an exponent, and it's being multiplied by 1 over 4. But on the bottom, it's y to the fourth power times 1 over 4 up there. And so these cancel out, the 4's cancel, and all you have left, because the cube root, or the fourth root of 1 is 1. So on top you have 1, and on the bottom you have y. Again, I was just showing you how to do this again, and I'm hoping that it's beginning to make sense. If not, let me know if you have any questions.